Once upon a time, in the bustling city of Asaba, there lived a young couple named Nkem and Olisa. They met in one of the university in the eastern part of Nigeria, precisely Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka in Anambra State. Olisa was a young, intelligent, and hardworking man from a humble background. Olisa was the first son of his parents. He had five siblings following him. His parents struggled to see him through school as his father worked in a railway station with a primary school certificate, and his mother sold fish in the village market. With the little money she made from her sales, she was able to support her family. His parents struggled to pay his tuition, and he often went without basic needs. He met Nkem in an unusual circumstance. He has gone to the school canteen as usual to get some snacks for himself that hot afternoon when Mama Ugo, the owner of the canteen, held Olisa by his shirt and was raining all manner of abuses on him, asking him to pay her back her money, which he has owed her for the past 3 months. Please, Mama Ugo, pleaded Olisa. I will give you back your money once my parents send me money. You're a liar, Mama Ugo said. That is how you have been promising me for the past 3 months. Olisa, you are not going to leave this place until you give me my money. You came to borrow money from me and you know you cannot pay back. Why not go and manage the little one you have? Now you want me to let you go. Olisa, you are not leaving this place. Oh. As she continued to hold him by his shirt. The students there tried pleading with Mama Ugo, but she refused. She told them that Olisa was going nowhere until he pays her back her money. That was when Nkem walked into Mama Ugo's canteen. She had come to get some snacks from Mama Ugo that afternoon after lectures. When she saw how Mama Ugo dragged Olisa, he was being humiliated. She was so touched by his plight, so she decided to intervene. She greeted Mama Ugo as she drew closer to her. Please, ma, how much is the money, ma? It's 5,000 naira, Mama Ugo shouted. Okay, madam, can you leave his shirt? Let me get the money for you, Nkem begged. Thank you, but if I don't get my money, I'm not releasing this boy, replied Mamugo, as she continued to pull Olisa by his shirt. So Nkem hurried outside, and a few moments later, she returned with some money, which she gave to Mamugo. She released Olisa from her tight grip as she counted the money. Mamugo said to Olisa, just go and thank your stars today. Today is your luckiest day. As she returned back to her seat to sit down, Olisa wondered who this angel God sent to him that day was. Thank you so much for your kindness, Olisa said to Nkem, who smiled back at him. It's nothing, Nkem said. Please, what is your name? You are the angel God sent to rescue me from Mamugo today. Nkem introduced herself and her department to Olisa, who also introduced himself and his faculty too. Nkem was the only child of Chief Obi. Chief Obi owned several businesses in the city and across the states. They loved and showered Nkem with all that she needed to have a comfortable life in school. Nkem and Olisa became friends from that day. Nkem, from her warm heart, decided to support Olisa financially. He also enjoyed freebies from Nkem's surplus food supplies. Nkem was there for Olisa. With Nkem's support, Olisa had a comfortable life in school. Olisa was an intelligent and hardworking student. He has always been determined to succeed. Despite the challenges he faced in school, he worked so hard so he could get very good grade that could help him get a good job and support his poor parents and siblings. 2 years later, Olisa graduated as the best student from his department. He was offered employment as a teaching assistant in the university, which he declined. He already had a better offer from Chief Obi, Nkem's father. He had met Nkem's father, Chief Obi, when he had gone to visit Nkem when she was ill for some weeks. Olisa had come to visit Nkem in her home. That was where Nkem introduced Olisa as her boyfriend to her parents. Olisa was shy and uncomfortable in the presence of Chief Obi and his beautiful wife. Chief Obi and his wife, Lady Zaram, were humble. They had this calm demeanor which made people of low class comfortable with them. So it was not hard for Olisa to get comfortable in their presence. Chief Obi said to Olisa, my son, relax, okay? You are welcome to our home and we respect the choice of our daughter. You are welcome, my son. Lady Zaram also said to Olisa, who was sitting on a beautiful sofa in their luxurious living room. Olisa was amazed at such a beautiful and massive living room, as this was the first time he was seeing and entering such a big house. My son, I really want to thank you for how you have really cared for my daughter. She has told us a lot about you, and I'm really impressed meeting you. Chief Olisa had no son, so he saw Olisa as a potential son-in-law. He was impressed by Olisa's brilliance and hard work, which showed in his academics. After Olisa's graduation, Chief Olisa promised him that he would offer him a job in his company. He was going to make him the general manager of his company. Chief Obi saw Olisa as a promising and potential young man, and he knew that he would fit into whatever responsibility in the company. Olisa and Nkem were in love with each other. Nkem was so grateful to her parents for accepting Olisa into their family. After their youth service, Olisa and Nkem got married. It was a luxurious wedding indeed. It was the wedding of Chief Obi's only daughter, so all the elites were there. After their wedding, Chief Obi gifted Nkem and Olisa a beautiful house in the highbrow area of the city. Olisa was made the GM in the company. Also attached to his job was a car, a driver, and other staff that would help them in their house. 2 weeks after their wedding, when Olisa and Nkem have returned from their honeymoon, he resumed work in Chief Obi's company. As he walked into the exquisite office, he greeted his father-in-law, Chief Obi. Chief Obi was elated to introduce his son-in-law Olisa as the new GM, and he requested that he should be accorded full respect and support. He said to them, "Whatever respect you accord me, please accord it to my son-in-law." The staff came to welcome Olisa. Years after, Olisa and Nkem's marriage was blessed with two sons. Their names are Tobe and Kaito. Olisa and Nkem have grown to love and respect each other. Olisa thanked God for using Nkem to alleviate his life and family. They had known nothing in life but poverty. He was so grateful to God for the day he met Nkem, his saving angel. Nkem and Olisa's relationship was indeed perfect until few years after they had Kaito, their second son. Nkem became very sick. This time it was very serious. Olisa had thought it was just a passing illness, but her condition worsened, so they sought medical help from another hospital. It was there the doctors delivered a devastating news to Nkem and her family. Nkem had cancer, and it was almost at the last stage. She needed urgent chemotherapy so she could stay alive, alongside other treatments that would be given to her. This news came as a great shock to Nkem, her husband, and her parents. Nkem was shattered. She broke down in tears. "So this is how my life is going to end," she continued to weep. But Olisa hugged and encouraged her to be strong, that he promised to stand by her through it all. "Nkem, this is not easy for either of us, but you just have to put yourself together, Nkem. You have to find a reason to live." "Thank you, Lisa, for everything," said Nkem. As weeks went by, Nkem was losing strength and weight. Olisa was afraid for Nkem, but he encouraged her to be hopeful that they would get through it together. Nkem has been admitted in the hospital for several weeks now, and on one of the nights after Olisa's visit to the hospital, when he got home that night, he wept. He thought of how his once vibrant and beautiful, cheerful wife had become so frail. He missed the time they had together as a family. He prayed to God for quick recovery for Nkem, so she could return back to their home, which is now filled with worry and sadness. Nkem's parents were also badly affected by the health condition of their only child. They could see their only child drifting away, but the doctors assured them that Nkem was going to be fine. "Chief," said one of the doctors, "you just have to stay positive. Madam, be strong too. All she needs now is our prayers and positivity." Many months have passed, still Nkem's health was not improving at all, as she has now lost so much weight and her hair have all fallen off due to the several chemotherapy treatments she had. Nkem was now a shadow of herself. All that mattered to her now was her recovery. Olisa, who used to see his wife beautiful and radiant, full of life, began to withdraw. He now spent more time at work and spent less time at home with Nkem whenever she was not in the hospital. Nkem could also notice the change in Olisa. She had no reason to doubt Olisa's love and support, which he has always promised her, so she decided to stay positive. As weeks passed by, it became evident to Nkem that Olisa was avoiding her. When she tried to complain, Olisa blamed it on his work. "I'm so sorry, Nkem. I know I spend less time with you, but it's my job. I recently have a lot on my table," said to Nkem. We encouraged him to focus on his job. She hoped that things would get better with time. However, Olisa's feelings of fear and helplessness grew. He began to resent the situation he had found himself, feeling that Nkem's bad health was holding him back. He was lost in the whole situation, that he never bargained for in marriage. Nkem's parents, Chifobi and his wife, had traveled abroad on a vacation. While on their way back, tragedy struck. They were involved in a fatal car accident which claimed the life of Chifobi. His wife was also badly affected, but luckily she did not lose her life, but she lost her legs in the accident. Nkem, who was still struggling with her health, went into a coma when she got the news of the tragic loss of her beloved father and her mother, who was also grappling with her life. "Father, not now," she cried, as she grieved the loss of her dear father. She wept for her mother, as she prayed that nothing should happen to her. Nkem could not survive the shock as she went into a coma. "Let's just pray and hope she recovers, because this is hard," the doctor said to Olisa as they observed her. Olisa was very sad and worried about Nkem's health. As she was rushed to the hospital that afternoon, her parents were involved in the accident. Lady Zaram, Nkem's mother, could not be available for her daughter because of her health condition. Weeks later, Chifobi was buried. Nkem's mother, Lady Zaram, who had become crippled after the accident, was flown abroad so she could stay with her younger sister, who was also a medical doctor in the United States, so she could get all the best care she needed. As Nkem, her only child, was still in a helpless state. She was not in the best position to help her, so she had to travel. After the death of Chifobi, Olisa was now in charge of the company, since Nkem's health have made her incapacitated to run the company with him. Running the company was on his shoulders, so he became close to Amaka. She had been the PA and secretary to Chifobi for many years now, before his untimely death. Olisa brought her close to himself so she could be his eyes in the company, as she knew a lot of the activities going on in the company. She has always been in several meetings with late Chifobi. Weeks on, Olisa's relationship with Amaka became intimate, as they could walk together far into the night. Their relationship was no longer official, but intimate. Amaka had asked Olisa one morning when he resumed work. "How is that one doing?" she asked Olisa, referring to Nkem. "Abeg, let that woman just pack up jare, so we can have our peace. I wonder what she's still living for." "Olisa, you just have to look into this. She is draining the finances of this company, and very soon this company will go bankrupt, and this is not good at all." "Amaka, don't you refer to my wife that way again," Olisa angrily said to her. "As you know, she is still my wife, and also the CEO of this company, which you are benefiting from. Don't you ever use such demeaning words on her again." "Sorry, Oga. I'm very sorry, sir." As she continued to work on the proposal letter he gave to her that morning. "Please, before I continue, I want to thank you all for your love and support for my channel. I appreciate all my subscribers and all those who come to watch my story. I plead with you all, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, like my story, and also share with your loved ones and friends. This will really help my story to get to a wider audience. Once again, I appreciate you all, and I am not taking this for granted. Thank you all. So back to the story. It's now 6 months since Nkem have been in a coma. Olisa was called from his office one afternoon by the doctors to come quickly to the hospital. Olisa was expecting to hear that Nkem was dead, but to his shock, when he got to the hospital, he met Nkem awake. She has now regained consciousness and was fine. He was surprised, so he asked the doctors what happened. "Is she sound at all? I thought you said she will not come out of this." He quickly changed his words as the doctors and Nkem looked at him shockingly. "I mean to say, I am shocked and very happy." As he tried to force a smile, he said in his heart, "This is not what I'm expecting. No. Nkem, you have 9 lives. So as he managed to spend some time with her. After some time, he excused himself that he was going back to the office. Nkem, please, I have to leave now. I still have a lot of things to attend to in the office. As he left the hospital, Olisa was already tired with the whole situation. He needed his freedom. He no longer felt anything for Nkem. Amaka was the in thing now. She was young, vibrant, beautiful, and full of energy. She was more than everything that Nkem used to be before her illness. Olisa no longer had time for Nkem. He resented her. He even had to complain to her one morning that she better be well before the company goes bankrupt. He said to Nkem as he was preparing for work, Nkem, your health is really draining the finance of our company. You just have to get well soon. I'm really spending much. Nkem looked shockingly at Olisa. Olisa, I can't believe you are the one saying this to me. So you failed to remember I also own that company. It's not my fault that I'm here. Am I the one that brought this sickness upon myself? Olisa, why are you being inconsiderate? Why are you this mean, Olisa? Nkem, I'm not dragging CEO with you, but I'm the one doing the work here. Olisa replied, I know what I'm saying, no. Maybe we should consider herbal treatment because I don't understand what is happening. No. I have learned from reliable sources that herbal treatment is the best and also it's not that expensive. Nkem continued to look at Olisa in surprise, but she knew that all was not well. Olisa now prefers money to my health. This confirmed her fears that she have lost Olisa, who could no longer show any sympathy or affection for her. She said to herself, how can I help myself on this bed where I'm tied down? With tears in her eyes, she called their family lawyer, Barrister Olu, who had worked for her father for many years. When he came to Nkem's house, they spoke at length about a lot of things, especially regarding the company. Don't worry, my child, all will be well, Barrister Olu assured her. As he left her house that morning, Olisa could not hide his resentment. He wanted his freedom. So one evening when he came back from work, he met Nkem looking at the mirror. He laughed mockingly at her. Nkem, what do you want to see? Is it your bad hair that you want to see? I don't know why you are wasting your time looking at the mirror. Very ugly. And I don't know what you want to see. Please stop, Nkem said to Olisa as tears rolled down her cheeks. Olisa, who was not listening, continued. You and your parents are deceptive. You knew your health condition and you hid it from me, making me fall in love with you. And now you want to tie me down. You want to end my life like this. Nkem, you have failed though. Newsflash, I'm too young for this. You are of no use to me, Nkem. Nkem, you forced me into this marriage. If your life have ended, will mine also end? As he entered the bathroom to go and shower, Nkem's mouth were wide open in shock as she groaned in pain. She was stunned. She has already lost her voice to all the cries that Olisa have made her cry since she became sick. When Olisa came out from the bathroom, she said to Olisa, Olisa, for the past months now, you have been disrespecting me, and now you call my parents deceivers. Olisa, you that my parents gave you and your family a better life. Olisa, I loved you. I loved you, not minding your humble background. Olisa, I was kind to you out of my benevolence, not for any gain. And you know, Olisa, you look at my face and say these mean words to me. This is hard to believe. As she continued to weep, Olisa, may God judge you. As she lay her weak body back on her bed quietly, Olisa, who was not touched by Nkem's tears, said in his heart, you can't use your crocodile tears to deceive me after all. I did not force you to help me and my family. Olisa continued to spend more time with Amaka as his soul drifted from Nkem. All Olisa wanted was his freedom. He wanted to be with Amaka, his newfound love. She was all that matters to him. Olisa found the excuse to stay late at work or go on business trips where Amaka would accompany him so they could spend more time together. Amaka was on Olisa's neck. She wanted Olisa all to herself. She said to Olisa during one of their outings, I don't even know why you still go back to that woman. Are you not tired of her? See, Olisa, you better do something. No. I'm tired of this hide and seek game. I'm not here to be a substitute. Olisa pleaded with her to be calm, that he was in charge of the situation. Olisa then made a decision that changed everything in their lives. As he could no longer bear the burden of Nkem's illness, he felt trapped, suffocated by the responsibilities that came with being her husband. One evening, after a tiring day at work, Olisa returned home. Nkem welcomed him, but he ignored her greeting, as he told her he wanted to talk to her about something that was serious. Please, won't it wait, said Nkem. I just took my evening drug and I need some rest. But Nkem, I really need to talk to you. Nkem, seeing the urgency in his voice, decided to listen to him. Nkem, this is me being real. I can no longer pretend. I want a divorce. I'm choking. I have tried to be considerate these past 2 years, and it's affecting my mental health. I don't want to lose my mind. Nkem looked at Olisa in disbelief. What was she hearing? She knew she had lost Olisa, but never knew it would come to this. She broke down in tears and began to plead with Olisa. Olisa, please don't leave me now. I really need you at this time. Olisa, please just be by my side. Olisa, I know that it's not easy for you. Please reconsider your decision, Olisa. This is not a death warrant. Why just give up on our love and marriage? Olisa, remember the doctor said I will recover. Just that it will take some time. And I believe God, and with you by my side, with our children and family members praying for us. I will get well soon. Please, Olisa, don't leave me now. How are our sons going to take this news? Including my sick mother and your parents, who I know will never be in support of this your decision. Despite her pleas, Olisa remained firm. All that filled his mind was his freedom. He wanted more time with Amaka, no distraction. Nkem, though devastated, had no choice but to agree, as Olisa was not even at home. He only returned home for a change of clothes, and he never bothered to ask her about her health or their sons. Weeks after, Olisa filed for a divorce, and soon he left the house. Nkem settled him, and he left with Amaka to start a new relationship in their new home. To Olisa, it felt like a new start, without the burden of caring for a sick, dying wife. Nkem was heartbroken, so she had to bring back her sons from her aunt's house in Kaduna so they could be with her, as they were her only solace at this time. He never changed his mind. Olisa resigned from his job in Nkem's father's company. He left with Amaka. As they left with the huge settlement from his divorce with Nkem, he was happy that he was living the life of freedom he has always wanted since Nkem's medical predicament. His life with Amaka was everything he has hoped for, as they traveled the world together, attending several parties, and they enjoyed luxuries from the money he got from Nkem and the sale of their company shares. Olisa, he felt like he has made the right choice. He was free from his past. After Nkem's divorce with Olisa, Nkem has fully recovered. She now returned to her father's company, which has become a shadow of itself. The company was seriously affected by her divorce, since the finance of the company was divided into two. Not only that, Olisa and Amaka made sure they sold all the shares of the company before they left, which made the company bankrupt, and only few staff were still working with them. She was at the office that morning with Barrister Olu, her father's lawyer. After lots of discussions with him, he encouraged Nkem not to sell off the company, as this was her father's only legacy. I know it's not going to be easy, said Barrister Olu, but you just have to try. There is no harm in trying. So, with his help and advice, added to Nkem's resilience and diligence, she was able to win back the confidence of her father's business partners, and they supported her with some finance. With that, she was able to keep the company afloat. One day, Nkem was at home going through her father's documents when she stumbled upon a letter. She knew it was a vital document. As the envelope was sealed, it was an official letter, so she decided to open the letter and read its contents. After reading the letter, when she got to the office that morning, she invited Barrister Olu. When he came that morning, she gave him the letter, which he read and smiled at Nkem. He said to Nkem, who was looking at him curiously, "With this, your father's company will bounce back. This is indeed a great succor for us. This is all we need to revive your father's company back to its former glory." Nkem was so happy with what Barrister Olu told her. However, as years went by, things began to change for Olisa. He has tried his hands on virtually every business, but they were all hitting the rock. Amaka, who had initially been so supportive, started showing signs of impatience. She was more interested in the material things Olisa could provide, more than in his growth as a person. She began to demand more expensive gifts, trips abroad, and a lifestyle that was increasingly difficult to maintain. Olisa, still blinded by his infatuation, tried to keep up with Amaka's demands. But as years went by, he started to feel the strain. His finance was really suffering. He found out that the more he tried to please Amaka, the more distant she became. Olisa then discovered that what he thought was love was just a shadow attraction. It was a mirage. As Olisa's financial situation worsened, he saw his relationship with Amaka turning sour as she nagged all day. She became cold and distant. She often criticized him for not being able to provide the luxury she desired. She was just there for his money. The tension between them grew, and their once joyous relationship turned bitter. One afternoon after a tiring day, when Olisa came home, he was met with the shock of his life. He met an empty house. Amaka was nowhere to be found. As he searched the house calling Amaka's name, but she was not responding. Then he noticed that all his properties, his cash in his drawer, were all missing. As he was still running all over the house in confusion, he saw a letter lying on the counter of the kitchen. In curiosity, he grabbed the letter. Thank you so much for watching this story. Please turn on your notification bell so you can be notified for the continuation of this story. In the next part of this story, we are going to know what was the contents of the letter Olisa found, also what happened to Nkem and her father's company, and other questions that you need answers to. Please remember to subscribe if you have not subscribed to this channel. And if you are a returning subscriber, I appreciate you so much. And also thank you all for watching and supporting my story. Please remember to click the like button, for this is the only way that this story can get to a wider audience. Also share with your loved ones and friends. Let's continue our discussion in the comment section, the moral lessons that we have learned from this story. Until we meet again next time, stay blessed and bye.